100 seats who are playing on one side, which is the number of the India alliance, and 197, which is the number of the NDA alliance. So it's almost twice as much. So Rahul, with 3 big states to go, the NDA could well be poised for a triple century and more as things stand. Rahul.
At this moment, can the NDA be 400 par? The BJP itself had given up on that 370 idea. Are they heading in that direction? Stay with us for the next couple of hours and you are about to find out, because we're diving in now to Maharashtra. Maharashtra is one of the most epic battleground states in this election, and it is in Maharashtra that the story of the general elections is being written. The projected vote share for Maharashtra up on your screen right now. The Bharatiya Janata Party at 29%, the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde faction at 13%, the Ajit Pawar faction at 4%, the Congress at 14%, the NCP Sharad Pawar faction at 9%. But the big story there is the Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction, which seems to have done very well as far as vote share is concerned. When this gets converted into seats, India Today and Access My India are predicting that amongst the most fascinating elections in this election have happened in Maharashtra. The BJP projected to bag between 20 and 22 seats. The Eknath Shinde faction, which contested 15 seats, expected to bag between 8 and 10. The NCP Ajit Pawar faction, which contested 5, could bag between 1 and 2. The Congress between 3 and 4. The Sharad Pawar faction between 3 and 5. The Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction between 9 and 11 could potentially be the number 2 party in the state when it comes to tallies. Rajdeep, this is your home state. Uddhav Thackeray emerging as one of the big winners there. Eknath Shinde's faction not doing quite as well as the BJP itself. What do you make of these numbers?
Actually, Rahul, I must disagree with you there, because the real story, if these numbers hold, is actually Eknath Shinde. He's contesting 14 seats. 14. He's leading in 8 to 10. And you've got Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray's Shiv Sena, Rahul, which is contesting 23 seats, and they are leading in 9 to 11. So for the allies, what was the general belief in Maharashtra? BJP will hold its own, but these allies will bring it down. Yes, Ajit Pawar's faction, and it will be interesting to see which are those 1 to 2. Is it the seat between Supriya Sule and Sunetra Pawar, which is the one which is key, the Baramati seat? So we don't know which is the seat. We'll find that out from Pradeep. But instinctively what this means is, at those numbers, Rahul, out of 48 seats, 28 to 32 to the NDA, which means they are down by about 10. But the BJP itself is hardly taking a hit. They got 23 last time. They're getting 20 to 22 this time. The India alliance doing better than last time, but clearly not as well as they had hoped. I mean, this is the other big disappointment for them after Karnataka. Karnataka, they expected...
No, it's not comparable, Rajdeep. Karnataka, the BJP swept. Here they made a real fight in Maharashtra.
No, but you would expect to be ahead of your rivals, right? You had gone into this election in the hope that you would be ahead of your rivals. That's not happening. Yes, the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena is clearly showing it's in the fight. Sharad Pawar is showing he is the real NCP in the sense he is ahead of the Ajit Pawar faction, and most of their contests were in Western Maharashtra. The Congress again comes over Kadi. 17 seats that they have contested, they are only leading in 3. So you see, you're having a situation, if I'm the BJP and we are in T20 season, I want the Congress as a matchup. And that, in a way reflects right across the country, but a disappointment, I think, for the Mahavikas Aghadi. If these numbers hold, it may change in a Vidhan Sabha 4 months from now, Rahul, where the Modi factor
I don't know,
may not
you're sounding very... The fact is that this is a good fight. By the relative standards of the fight that the India Alliance has put up, they've put up one of their best fights in Maharashtra.
Sure, but it's not winning you. And you see, what was your aim? Your aim was to stop the BJP from crossing 272. That's not going to happen anywhere anymore. The BJP is romping towards 272 and more.
Shankar wants to make a point.
Seminal points that are emerging out of this. Everybody had written off Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar. The comment in Mumbai was, ye dono shaheed ho jayenge. That's not happening. The second thing that you notice in the number is the Congress has once again capitulated completely. I live in Pune, and in Pune, the joke that is being discussed is that the Congress party president, the Congress candidate, is fighting both the Congress party president and the BJP candidate. The Congress is completely almost not visible in Maharashtra. So that part of the story is there. But still the consensus view, Rahul, I must say, is exactly the reverse of what we are showing.
Consensus amongst whom?
Among most people, most
sitting in their drawing rooms doing their own cephology.
In India, everybody has their own team. It's a My 11 or Dream 11, whatever team everybody's creating.
Okay. So Amit Malviya now joins us. Amit Malviya heads up the IT cell of the Bharatiya Janata Party, has played a very important role in the BJP's campaign in West Bengal. In just a while from now, we'll come to West Bengal. But till then, Mr. Malviya, from these numbers, it seems that Prime Minister Modi extremely confident, declaring that the NDA has won and the India alliance has lost, he says.
Rahul, for anybody who went on the campaign trail and visited various parts of the country and states such as Maharashtra, Bihar, West Bengal, Telangana and Odisha, the so-called big catchment states for the BJP in this election, they all came back with the impression that the BJP is probably the only party that is in the contest. The Congress, for all its bluster, was completely missing. Some bit of resistance was put up by the regional parties, and I'm not quite surprised that the trends that are now emerging, including your own exit poll, seems to suggest that the BJP will be home on its own, will have a massive majority. And let me point out, this is probably the first time in contemporary Indian history and perhaps even after independence that a Prime Minister will return to office for a third term with a higher vote share and higher number of seats. And that itself makes this mandate very, very special. And I don't know what your final numbers look like, but I can tell you that we will be very close to our projected number of 370, and the NDA will add on to that, and we will be on course to a 400 number.
It won't, I want to tell our viewers, it won't just be historic in an Indian context. Even when you look internationally, the likes of Margaret Thatcher or Tony Blair, transformative leaders of their countries, in their third election, they did win, but with reduced majorities. The question is, can Prime Minister Modi win with an even bigger majority? I want to show you this cool hawa, hot hawa business that's playing on our screen right now, which basically tells you what's happening in the hot seats. Where is the cool hawa and the hot hawa going? So the cool hawa, and I want to take up Baramati first, because Baramati is Pawar versus Pawar. It's one of the most pitched battles of the Lok Sabha election. Let's show you what's happening in that very hot seat of Baramati. India Today Access My India project, and I know that Supriya Sule might be watching at this time, that she has the edge. Sunetra Pawar, Ajit Pawar's wife, in fact seems in our poll to be trailing with she'll be very, very relieved to see this. This was really the ego battle, the prestige battle. The BJP top guns insisting that Ajit Pawar contest through his wife. And it seems that Sharad Pawar could have the last laugh. That's what our poll suggests at this moment. Let's now look at what's happening in the seat of Sangli. Now this again, the hot seat, the cool hawa in Sangli, Vishal Patil, as an independent, seems to be one up on the BJP candidate over there. But Baramati, Rajdeep, you travel to Baramati, our polls seem... If you ask anyone in the BJP top leadership, they think they're winning Baramati. India Today Access My India says at this moment, you got Supriya Sule with the edge.
It's a tough seat. You know, there was a high voter turnout in Khadakwasla, which is one of the assembly segments of Baramati. It's semi-urban, just on the mainly urban, just on the borders of Pune. And we will have to see whether the BJP has, or the NCP, Ajit Pawar faction has pulled enough votes there in Khadakwasla to make up what it might lose out in rural Baramati. My sense is this will go down to the wire. It's a very tight contest. The BJP very clearly put up Ajit Pawar's wife so that in a way the competition was intense. They realized no one else perhaps could really take on Sharad Pawar's clout in that constituency. So they put up someone from the family. And if they are winning one or two, one of them could well end up the Ajit Pawar faction in Baramati. But Sangli is again interesting. This was a constituency where the Congress candidate is the grandson of Vasantdada Patil, the former chief minister of the late Vasantdada Patil. The Congress didn't give him the ticket. So he went and contested independent. The seat was taken by the Shiv Sena, which insisted that we want the Sangli seat. Guess what? the independent could be winning. I think there will be lessons if these numbers hold of the nature of your election management. And questions will be raised about the choice of candidates and the way you fought the election.
Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction now joins us. Priyanka ji, welcome. Your sense of the numbers so far, Rajdeep and I having a bit of a disagreement. I was making the point that Uddhav Thackeray and the Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray Sena seem to have done well. Rajdeep says, but look at how the Shiv Sena, Eknath Shinde faction have done. They haven't proven to be the Kamzor Khadi. How are you reading this data, Priyanka?
So, whatever I'm seeing from the exit polls, while I respect my exit polls a lot, however, the numbers are going to show differently on the results day. We're very confident that Mr. Shinde, the 13% that you're showing to his faction, is going to be a much reduced single-digit vote share. But I'm not going to be jumping the gun here. While I respect the numbers that are showing here, we are pretty confident that we are going to do well as the Mahavikas Aghadi Alliance.
But if these numbers hold, Priyanka Chaturvedi, then where could things have gone wrong? I mentioned Sangli just now as a seat the Shiv Sena insisted on fighting. As per our polls, the independent who the Congress had hoped to give a ticket appears to be leading. Was there that perfect coordination, you think, on the ground? Do you believe that maybe, or is it the Modi factor that could have given the BJP the edge, especially in Lok Sabha?
I do not know how much of the Modi factor is really working, to be very honest. But if you look at the percentage, if I'm just going by the numbers that you all are showing, others are showing a voting percentage of almost, vote share of almost 11%. That in itself tells you a story that those are the ones which will, in case these numbers hold, which will play a small sport for the Congress party and for various other alliances that we're seeing here.
I can actually quantify the Modi factor
But
in
there's
Maharashtra. Of
another
all
one
the
thing
people
I'd like
who
to say
voted the way
here.
they did, 9% of the total respondents and 19% of the NDA voters said they voted the way they did because of Prime Minister Modi, which means in an assembly context, Priyanka Chaturvedi's party and that alliance has a fighting chance. But the problem is your former party, the Congress, is once again proven to be the weak link. How do you see that? Uddhav Thackeray punching as per his weight or above his weight, depending on how you see it, but the Congress punching in a very suboptimal fashion, Priyanka.
What is this about calling this my former party? I'm with the Shiv Sena, and I would prefer it that we do not talk like this, that, oh, look what your former party is doing. It is part of an alliance. We are part of the same alliance. And I come from Shiv Sena. I speak on behalf of Shiv Sena or the Balasaheb Thackeray faction, right? So having said that, all I mention again, like I said, while I respect the numbers that are showing here, there will be a very different picture that you would see on the 4th of June. And I'm very confident that Mahavikas Aghadi has done well, and going by our ground reports and what we have collected on ground and we have seen on ground, there has been a massive show of support, not just in terms of emotional support, but in terms of voting as well, as far as we are concerned. So again, like I said, numbers will tell the truth only by 4th, but we are pretty confident about how this is going to turn out in Maharashtra. Just one thing I'd like to say here. Shiv Sena and Bharatiya Janata Party, when they were in alliance, Bharatiya Janata Party had won 23 seats. Right now it's showing 22 seats, 20 to 22 seats. That in itself tells you another story.
But Priyanka, the entire narrative when you campaigned and your party campaigned was that this election will settle which is the real Shiv Sena. If Eknath Shinde holds on to the numbers that he's seeming to be holding on, then that's a problem.
I don't see that as a problem. I only see it as a problem created by the Bharatiya Janata Party, which on the 4th of June, you would see the answer to. And assembly elections are not too far. You would get that reply on that as well. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, the independents have played a factor if these numbers hold, and that is something that we will work on. You know, assembly elections are something that
So very quick points. We need to go to West Bengal. Yes.
One last point, serious point. Once again, the Congress versus BJP story is playing out here. In the 23 odd seats that the BJP, 28 seats that the BJP was fighting, it was contesting against the Congress in 15 seats. And the Congress's tally and the BJP's tally tells you that once again the BJP versus Congress battle is being won by the BJP.
And it's happened in 2 consecutive elections, Rahul. So it's not a one-off. 2014, 145 seats direct contest, only 13 were won by Congress. In 2019, 178 direct contests, 166 won
Rajat
by
wants to
BJP.
make a brief
So
point.
it's, it really tells you the story of what has happened in the last 10
West
years.
Bengal's coming
See,
up next.
A
Rajat.
lot of criticism was levied on the BJP as to why did they break Shiv Sena and why did they break NCP. Imagine a scenario had these two parties been together, the Aghadi being a completely cemented alliance. They would have almost wiped out BJP from Western Maharashtra and even from Marathwada belt. And I think this is where BJP's deft handling of the issue right in time. 1 year in advance, they understood that the situation isn't very good and they can't fully rely on Shinde alone. They ensured that NCP is also broken, and they kept working hard in terms of ensuring that some level of semblance of vote transfer happens. I believe NCP vote transfer did not happen to BJP as it was expected. Their base is totally different.
Okay.
It was an unnatural alliance. Also, in seats like Baramati and all, Sharad Pawar, remember at 83 years, he went to every individual whom he has been fighting for 50, 60 years. He went to their households, caught their feet literally, asking for vote, begging for vote. He went to Sangram Thopte's house. He went to Vijay Mohite Patil's place, ensured that all regional satraps are all brought into Aghadi fold. So he did a lot of hard work on the ground.
I want to say though, this is one state route, just as a caveat, where there are exit polls, especially by the local regional channels, which are giving the edge to the Mahavikas Aghadi.
Yeah,
so it's in the sense that, generally across all states, exit polls are unidirectional. Across states we are finding. This is the only state where many of the exit polls are actually either predicting a dead heat or a slight edge to the Mahavikas.
Okay, we want to thank Priyanka Chaturvedi for joining us.